Well, okay, without further ado, today's 16th of September. We've got 5 minutes past 7. Got a guest with me today. I'm going to introduce you to our guest, who's going to be doing some spoken poetry. We're going to hear it from his words himself, and it's all around the topic of hate. Before we do that, let's have a listen to Laf Scumper Gay, which was recorded by R.J. Usker, and it's the words of Sabz Khan. All right, so introducing in our studio today, we have got Waqas Ali. So hello, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the studio.
Hello, walaikum assalam.
It's so nice to have you here in the studio with us.
Thank you.
So welcome to All FM.
Thank you.
You bring with us your artistic piece of poetry, which is focused around the topic of hate. And what have you called it?
It doesn't have a unique title.
Okay.
It's called Hate Crime.
Okay, it's called Hate Crime, which is a massive issue at the moment. It is, isn't it? It's just it's just a big issue at the moment. We'll talk around this as well. So your artist name is Waqas Ali, and your artist name is Words Alone.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll go with, well, what should I call you?
Call me Waqas.
Well, I'll call you Waqas. Okay, see, so I'm getting authority here. I'm getting authority to call him Waqas. Okay, so I'll be calling you Waqas. Okay, Waqas, can you tell us a little bit about it? Why did you decide to write this?
Yeah, the reason why I wrote this is I feel after the recent attacks that have happened here, there's been an increase in hate crime and in racism and Islamophobia.
Yeah.
And I felt it was important to write about this topic, and I wrote it in such a way where the scenario that's played out can happen to anyone, and it has happened up and down the country.
Okay, well, you know what? Let me play it first, so our listeners can have a listen to it, and then we'll get back to it again. So then we'll talk a little bit more about it again.
I woke up early this morning, the sound of nature calling. I get up and open my blinds to see the grey skies part for the sunshine. I get ready and go in my kitchen, making breakfast. I think of my mission. I call up my friends to arrange the events, talking about a place to meet, a coffee shop on Market Street. I hang up the phone and leave home. I walk up to the bus stop. Waiting for the bus, I look at my watch. The bus is due any time now. No bus comes, so I walk down. After a couple of minutes, a bus goes past. I laugh like a cynic, then I run fast. The bus leaves when I reach the next stop. Panting heavily, my lungs are about to pop. I sit and catch my breath. 3 buses come, I'm not impressed. I get on the one that's closest. See if there's anybody that I notice. Then I sit down. A couple of stops before town, I decide to get off and walk around. So I walk a couple of streets until a stranger stopped like they wanted to speak. I was expecting a greet, only by a barrage of obscenities. The stranger was ranting and raving, shouting how times are changing and I should go back home. A passerby quickly got out their phone. I froze like a deer trapped by headlights, pitch black at night. This sparked my fights, for this is my home, and I made my intentions known, defending myself. A good Samaritan rushed to help, getting in between scenes displayed on phone screens, racist slurs and screams to dehumanize and demonize, breeding hatred on the inside. They managed to pulled me away and told me to ignore what the racist says, asking me, do I want to go to the police and make a report? I shake my head, not even considering the thought.
Okay, wow. It was quite powerful. Listening to it, I can feel the pickup, of the voice, where you're picking up and the emotions really kicking in. Yeah. You talk about a few things there. So around about the total issue is about hate crime. So talk us through the scene. Talk us through the first bit that you started to explain.
Yeah, at the start, it's to I'm waking up, I'm, going about in my everyday life.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting ready to go see some friends on Market Street.
Yeah.
And I get ready, I go to the bus stop. And, typically with the British transport system is you miss one, and then you wait for ages, and then three come.
True, and then all 3 buses come together.
All 3 buses come together.
Okay, so you mentioned there waking up and the explaining that about the process of getting ready, which I refer to, or when I think of it, you start to, when you hear things sometimes, you start picturing it, you start putting a picture together in your mind. So what I picture together in that is like routine.
Yes.
Some kind of like routine, and everyone's busy in their routine. I mean, nowadays, no one's got any time for anything. Everyone's so busy in their routine, whether it's the routine of parenting and, taking your children to and from school, whether it's getting to and from work, whether it's the person who's the home person, cooking and, providing all the food and, making sure that the house is nice and ready for the family, whether it's an individual. And, so at this routine, everyone can familiarize themselves with this particular routine. And you mentioned the word Market Street, which straight away brings me to think you're Mancunian, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. So this is what I'm picking up from him, reading in between the lines here. So we're getting all these signs. And then the public transport, which, generally you think a lot of people do actually use public transport, and they have really made Manchester, really car unfriendly and very public transport friendly. I mean, all the rush home moves the road.
Yeah.
Today I was trying to park up, and you can't even go down the whole stretch of the road from the Central Library to Wimslow Road without having to say there's no right turn or there's no left turn. You can't even go straight, and you're like, where are you supposed to go?
Yeah.
So, you're reaching all these dead ends on the way there and on the way back. You have to cut through all these streets and get back on the motorways and get back around. You have to work your way around to get onto the other side. So, they've got a real big system that they've got of bike lanes.
Yes.
Really introducing that. And then we've got Andy Berman, who's the mayor of Manchester, who also introduced that scheme. He was a person who introduced that scheme. I do see his bikes flying around Cheetah Mill in my area as well, in odd places, like beside trees and things. And I think, what's he doing there? Surely there should be a stand in every area.
Definitely.
But there isn't. So if Andy Berman, if you're watching, maybe that's what you need to do. You need to have a point in every area, because people are just leaving these bikes lying around everywhere, and then then they're open to become vandalized and stuff. So so we want to obviously stay away from that. So so you have this big push about using public transport, and a lot of these videos that you see on social media and stuff, where you see people being abused and racially abused and all this hate being expressed through whatever, in different forms. A lot of it you do see on buses and trams and tubes, public transport on the footpath, and recently there were those incidences where people were getting acid attacks. And that was just so even broader than that. So it wasn't about being on the public transport. It was actually, you could be in your own car and someone could just throw it through the window, which is what happened to a couple of people, that young girl and boy who was celebrating her birthday. That happened, and it's happening everywhere. Manchester's not immune to that. Things are happening in Manchester, things are happening in London, they happen in Birmingham. They're just happening absolutely everywhere. So it's just gone the world's gone absolutely mad. Okay, so Waqas, where's this going to lead to now? So I think it's fantastic and well done for you to realise that hate crime and these things are going on, because you know what it is? Often you hear of women talking about incidents that have happened to them and about incidents of reporting things, and I'm thinking that when you hear of victims, men generally tend not to class themselves a lot like victims, and they tend to probably deal with it a bit differently, but more women are coming forward now. So it's nice to hear a male's perspective on things. So it's nice. So well done for that. And where's it going to lead to now? What are you planning to do?
I've left the poem open. Originally, during the end, I had this vision of an all-female cast to do the video. And I was going to have, an ethnic minority play the protagonist. Or someone, even if she was like a white girl, to put a scarf on. And then I'd have one, white girl to be the abuser. but then I'd have the Good Samaritan at the end to also be white as well, just to show that not everyone is racist. You know, it's like, when we think, right, if I was to shorten the word Pakistani, and if, let's say there's 10 English people, and one of them says that shortened word, immediately, if the other 9 don't speak, you're going to think they agree with that one person. You know,
right, I know what you mean. I'll give you an example of that. When we used to be in school, there used to be these couple of girls who were quite racist, but they used to pick on those that were weaker and vulnerable.
Yeah.
So they'd call them that word, the shorter word of what a Pakistani is.
Yeah.
The 4-letter word. They'd call them that, and they'd say, and I'd look at them and they'd say, "Oh no, not you. You're safe." so
yeah, you're all right.
Yeah, not you. You're all right. But I'd be like, no. I'm going to make our listeners hear your poem again, because I just want them to get the sense of the words that you wrote. And I think, well done. So, and you said you're going to take this into like some kind of, a way forward. You want to get into some kind of a production. Inshallah, you want to work on some kind of production for it?
Yeah, I mean, with this, it's on YouTube. You can find it. You just type in Words Alone.
Words Alone.
Follow me on my social media. Words Alone should come up.
Are you on Facebook as well?
Yeah, Facebook.
Are you on Facebook as Waqas Ali or as Words Alone?
Well, I've got a page with Words Alone.
Okay.
So there's that. And then YouTube, Words Alone. Instagram, Words Alone should come up as well.
Okay.
MCR. And everything, Twitter.
Okay, brilliant. So, we'll let everyone have a listen to this, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.